Hello, good morning. What a spectacular audience. Okay, I don't know if I will be able to tell exactly how to fix your life, but at least I will share some of my thoughts about how to manage your life as a project. Okay, this way. Okay, first in Polish. This is a sentence I have found familiar to me, which I like very much. Plan, co potem wygląda absolutnie inaczej. Do you think it's funny? But think about it. Is it really positive or is it negative sentence? Because we do a lot of plans, all of us. We do small and big, short and long term, but think about the plans you've made lately. Were you able to deliver them exactly as they were planned? Would you like to change your initial plans looking back now? Perhaps yes, perhaps there are always things that could be fixed. And I'm working as a project manager, so we do so-called projects. Project is always a plan, is part of the project. And there are some more things that are there also, which extend the simple planning. But maybe you will be surprised as much as I was, because when I was in the secondary school or during my studies, I never thought and I never even heard that such a job like a project manager exists, and that you can treat many things, many activities as a project. But it's really, project is nothing that much sophisticated, and if you take very general description, what project is, it is just one-time activity with a given deliveries, so what you want to achieve, and defined time scope, so you know when you start, when you want to finish. So looking at it this way, lots of our activities could be treated as a project. And my daughter, which is somewhere there, will say that perhaps I have I'm trying to treat her as one of my many projects and manage this way. If it is true, that is the most important and successful so far. But this is true. That perhaps I have this attitude to look for many things from that scope. But what is in each project, or what the project manager has to care about, are generally three things. One is the scope. The scope means what we really want to deliver, but also important what we don't want to deliver, so to make it clear what is really to be done. The second thing is the timing, so when to deliver, and the third is unfortunately a budget. There is always the money behind we have to care about. And those three things are always connected. So it's a nightmare of a project manager, because when you change one of them, then also the other will surely change. And you are always in a problematic situation, you know? So what are the methods then the theory of project management propose? How you can run your project in the best way? Of course, there are many of them, and they depend on the kind of the project. It's small or big or complicated, or you have many participants, or just a small number. But I will not go through all the possibilities. It will take. You could make an academic project with that. But I want to show you just two extremes. Two extremes you can see, and then you can try to decide for each project of which one is the better to choose from. So those were mainly created initially for the software development, but I use very generally now. First one is a waterfall, so-called, and there are two words that are like describing it. First is predictive. So what is the idea? The idea is that we are able at the very beginning of preparing the project to make a deep analysis and to find all the necessary data and to make a project at the very beginning, very detailed, with all the steps, with exact product that will be delivered. And it's also linear, because it says that we do it step by step. So we start with, for example, with some analysis, then we do the general description, then we have a project of the product, we start the development and we deliver. And at the very end, when it's done, we go to the client and say, okay, here is what you asked us for, and here is the product. And the client perhaps should be happy about it, but what the statistics says it's not the case really. Because there are problems with that approach. The first one is that with a big project over a long time, it is very hard to decide at the very beginning on all the single details that we want to deliver. So generally, it happens that what the client thinks about what he ordered at the beginning differs quite much from what finally he would like to have. Maybe you have seen there was such a cartoon, maybe some of you seen how they order a slave, or what it's called? Okay, huśtawkę. And what is the steps behind and what you get at the very end is very completely different from what they ordered at the beginning, and also different from what they thought at the beginning they would like. Yeah, so those things change. Secondly, what is the problem if you are not able to foresee all the problems that will appear, all the obstacles you can meet, and then the reactions that should be done. And the third thing is the environment. There is an environment that in each project that we are not able even to have any influence on that. So the environment changes, and there are threats and there are possibilities that appear. That in that approach we are not able to use. So after these critics, there was another option proposed, another extreme, which is called an Agile approach. Agile, there is a problem to even translate it to Polish. We say, they call it a zwinna methodologia, but it's not a really fully correct description. But what it is about? The main word here is adaptive. So it means that Agile is open for changes, and it welcomes changes. So it says, okay, we know that there is a lot of uncertainty at the beginning, and during the project we will find what exactly is needed, or maybe we will even change our minds, and we will react on that, and we will change the plan, we will change the final product, and we will deliver what is really needed. And second part is, it is iterative, because we do it in a small loops. Yeah? So we start with a very basic, or the most important part, we do a small part, we show it to the client and say, is it what you really wanted? And the client says, oh, maybe yes, but I will change it here and there. So then we adapt, so we change a little bit the plan, we change a little bit project, and then we do the next step. And again, after that, we come to the client asking, is it what you really wanted or not? And that's why it's also incremental, because we build the product in steps. We start with the basic block, and then we add the new and next things that the client will need. So the idea is that thanks to that approach, we should be able to deliver exactly what the client needs, because we are working with him through all the project and showing the progress all the time. Okay, moment. Yeah. but is it really like that? And can we achieve it? Because what they created was a kind of manifesto of what is important in an Agile and what is not. So they say that individuals and interactions are more important than processes and tools. So it's important to talk, to discuss, to be communication. That the working software, or we can say working product, is more important than a comprehensive documentation. Yeah, so it's important to deliver something that really works, that meets the needs, and the documentation, okay, it's secondary. that the collaboration with customer is more important than the contract negotiations. Because at the beginning, when we negotiate a contract, we are not able to put everything there. So then it will come with a collaboration. And the most important in the end is that responding to change is over following a plan. So as in this waterfall approach with a plan that we're following exactly step by step, here we say, no, we are responding to the change. We are adapting the plan to the needs that we find during the project. So it looks great, but again, the critics of that one says, okay, but if you don't have processes and tools, if you don't have documentation, if you didn't negotiate the contract correctly, and if you don't have a plan or you don't follow the plan, then it is a big risk that it will not succeed. And really, it is the case with this Agile approach that sometimes the name Agile is just used to hide the mess and the chaos that you have in the project. Yeah, because this reacting to the changes that sometimes leads to complete mess and chaos. Okay, so those are the two approaches, and just to share also my personal experience from last year, we had a planned house reconstruction. We want to rebuild the full ground floor. We asked the designer to prepare all the plans, and the idea was to remove all the walls possible to make the space as open as possible. So okay, everything was prepared and we were just eager to do this. But then when it came to realization, we have found that some of the walls have to stay, because if we disappear, we take them, then the whole building may fall down. So we had to adapt, we had to change our plans, we had to adapt to that. And using these new opportunities that some of the walls remain, for example, we decided that we'll construct additional toilets that was not there, and some other things. And finally, I would say, with that changes, we are perhaps more happy with the result now that we would be, if we will take the initial project and just go strictly with that. So you can guess which approach I'm a fan of more than the other. Oops. Okay, so now back to the topic. Can we treat life as a project? I think it fulfills the definition. It is really one-time approach. You will not have more chances to go. There is no next game possible. It has unique goals. Perhaps it's your happiness, your future. So, yeah, very unique for you. And it is, in a sense, time limited. You are already in the project, but sooner or later you will come to the end. So I think this is something we can really treat as a project, and I think now which approach is better. And my feeling is that we are now in a very dynamic environment. The world is changing crazy, and we have lots of new technologies coming. We've heard in the previous speech what happens in the medicine field. But there are also many others. I don't know which one you think is the most emerging now, that will come and change our life just in a few years. What do you think is the one?
Space exploration.
Space exploration, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm also for that. Have you heard about the last artificial intelligence thing that happened? That Google Translator, for example, they built a new one based on artificial intelligence. It is 40% better than the previous, just like that, with this different approach. I heard also that they are already artificial intelligence that is able to create another and teach it what is needed. So it is really coming, and I have seen some of these facilities already in some houses that you can talk to the computer and give order, and it will order you food or switch on the kettle to make the hot water. So it's really there already, and it will come and it will change our lives completely. So with that, I think that we are not able to predict And also, even more you, as you are young, and life is in front of you, what will really happen, what will really come, and how the world will look. And you perhaps also don't know in 100% who you would like to become and what are your plans. So you have to adapt to what will happen. And that's why, ending this speech, I have for you a couple of Agile life principles which I think might be important. So first one is the accept the uncertainty. It's normal that you don't know exactly where you want to be in a couple of years. You are not able to predict everything, and it would be even stupid to think that you are able to do that. So accept it and be open for unknown. So, as it is said, expect the unexpected, yeah, to come. Change your mind. I mean, of course, you need to have your idea, your vision of life, but be open to come and to revise it depending on your current situation. Yeah, if there is a good reason, change your mind. Don't be afraid of that. Or even better, change in front of the other changes. Yeah, so you will be always prepared for what is coming. Modify. So yes, you have your plans, your methods, but you should keep open for the new opportunities or look for the threats. And if so, modify your plans, change them, try again, adapt, and so on. Yeah. Act smart. What I mean is set your goals, short-term goals, achievable one. Celebrate when you are successful. Share this with your friends. But in case you are not, just make changes, adapt, try again. Do it. Don't be afraid to do those things several times and just make them better. Collaborate. This is very important, and I think we are not alone in our world. So collaborate, talk to other people, the important one in your life project. Listen to them, react, do the things together, share. And finally, enjoy. Enjoy what you are doing, and this is enjoy your life. And if it is not the case, if you are not enjoying, this means it's time for changes. So be agile and change if it's a need. Agile, for me, is about being open and sensitive. Continuous. Thank you.